Well, here we are. This is very special. This is one of the very special podcast episodes of 5 Topics of Life we're going to do. Up until yesterday, my favourite ever sporting moment was being there at ANZ Stadium, but the Olympic Stadium, and Cathy Freeman won her gold medal, the 400, the 2000 Sydney Olympics. Some say it was watching Bradman bat, watching an iconic sporting event, the America's Cup. Who can forget that when Australia come from nowhere to win the America's Cup? But yesterday was a moment in history, particularly here in Australia, when WINX, the best horse I've seen, and I've seen plenty of good horses, I'm not as old as some, but I was there trackside to watch WINX win her 33rd consecutive race. She now retires, the greatest. A job well done. And the bloke that was alongside me for the day, and we'll get to how he ended up getting there, was Sparty.
Morning,
Sparty,
Rich.
and it's nice that you got your WINX hat on, and
Yes.
it was special.
Oh, it was a top day. It was tops. And from the moment that I got the call up, which you'll touch on in a moment, to the moment that I got home last night, it was one of the great sporting experiences. It was everything. It had everything. Pathos, envy, love, the whole thing. Sydney finally got its best sporting moment since the Olympics. You're exactly right. It seems as though a lot of the time the really good sporting events in Australia happen elsewhere than Sydney. But I think yesterday was
One thing, and I don't want to talk about it further, but the build-up on track, I thought, lacked oomph. And that was I'd say, conveyed across social media. People thought there was going to be some stuff on track, but it lacked oomph. But once again,
I see, like a pre.
Yeah,
Is that what you
the
meant?
champion WINX
Yeah,
saved the day.
Yes,
But,
yeah.
It'll go down as a great moment, that's for sure.
Oh, without doubt. And I guess the question, and you're the racing man here, like obviously WINX has done a lot to bring the crowds back. Like now that she's gone, how do you keep that momentum going? I mean,
well, a few clubs have had their chests out, big pounding their chest about how clever they are with marketing and all that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to talk them down, but it had nothing to do with them.
Exactly.
It was all about WINX.
Yeah. If you haven't got your headline,
it's now from now on.
Yes.
We'll see if those marketing
they're the hard yards, aren't
those
they?
marketing people are worth. I just want to give a quick cheerio out to a photographer who remain nameless. There was one security. There was a few security guards yesterday. A few take it beyond. They think but it happens at every sporting event. But one security guard was pushing people up in where WINX is coming back in. Like this bloke would never have been near a horse, and he was trying to tell a few people that have grown up and lived it. And one of the photographers said, "I hope my boss is really keen to see the pictures of your beep back of your head," because he said that's all I've got.
Yeah, I got shadow boxed out of the jockey's room. I was down there with you, and I looked around and you were gone. And then the ladies looked at me and said, "Who are you here with?" And I turned around and said, "Him," and you weren't there. Pretty sure she thought I was making stuff up.
The person you're talking about, I have seen a Boo Santa Claus.
Yeah, right. Not a happy lady. So what we want to do today...
So yesterday morning, let me take you through it. This was the day. I had an invitation for my wife and I, courtesy of Racing New South Wales. There was a big ballroom event on. I was going anyway to be part of it and work, do a little bit. And I helped Chris Waller with a bit of his form.
Yes, you would have been there for your mate.
I would have, but I was there anyway. and see how the track played and all that. But due to circumstances, my mother-in-law isn't the best, and I wish Joyce beautiful things in her next endeavour. Yeah. And so my wife couldn't go. So I text this gentleman next to me, Sparty. I said, "Listen, I'm going to the races. If you're ready in 10 minutes, you can come with me." I was waiting for the reply text, and the reply text come back, "I'm ready."
Yes. Well, as you know, Saturday mornings for me at the moment is intense study because I'm at a crucial part of my eavesdropping. I'm in stage 3 of eavesdropping TAFE course. So I like to put aside that moment to where it's called the practical side of it. I just go to cafes and just sit there and listen to other people talk and then sort of look at their body language and so on. So you said I got the text and I thought, am I going to sit here and look at other people or am I going to go and get a suit on and go to what could be the biggest sporting event of my life? And I think it was a pretty easy decision.
We were going to get a lift. We were going to get an Uber. You wanted to get a ferry, and I thought, well, they're at the race at Randwick, they're not Circular Quay.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pointless getting the ferry.
Confused,
So we'd elected to drive.
Well, when you say we, I said I'll drive, fully expecting you to say, no, it's Saturday, I'll drive, or, words of that effect. The word disparaging comes to mind whenever I'm going to drive, even though I've got a 30-year blemish-free record, but that's another story. So in the end, I decided to drive. I said, I'll come around and pick you up, right? Now, I was nervous. Because I felt like I'd suddenly agreed to do something which was going to be great, and then I thought, hang on, I've got to drive with him there.
I think you drove reasonably well for you yesterday.
Thanks for that. I appreciate it. But you're jumping ahead because I got here, you were still getting ready, and you said front door's open, waiting. I'm sitting there watching TV. And then you came down wearing a bow tie. And I didn't know what to say because I'm open-minded.
A rainbow bloke.
Yeah, I'm open-minded, and whatever folks want to do, even if you are a 47-year-old happily or married man, hey, we all make decisions. And it was rainbow, and I thought, yeah, you said to me, what do you think? And I said, I'm not going to make any comment. I don't know what to think. And then
I thought it was quite funny. I was never going to wear it, but I just thought I saw it on my my tie rack. But the funny thing was, when I was in Melbourne last year for the carnival, and I had my new check shirt, and I sent my wife a picture of it with a blue tie and a red tie.
Yes.
And I knew she said one looked stupid.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I got it mixed up. It was the red one that looked stupid, and I should have wore the blue one.
So you wore the stupid one.
But I wore the red one.
Yeah.
When she got home, the red tie was there. She goes, you didn't wear that with that check shirt. I said, yeah. She goes, oh, God.
Because,
Did anyone say anything?
It was the talk of the ballroom. Have you seen his tie? Anyway, so then we got in there, and I was nervous about...
What about the parking spot?
I'm just about to touch on it. I was nervous about driving, and I was even more nervous about where I was going to park. In my mind, I'd committed to myself, what's the worst thing that can happen if you park across someone's driveway? That's in my mind, because I thought that's what it was going to be.
Or if you're parking in a 1 hour, 2 hour zone, they're going to be on fire.
That's right. I said to you, listen, even if we get done in a 2 hour, it's $78 or 83, whatever it is, that's still reasonable. That's less than 2 Ubers. So I was happy. I was preparing myself for everything. And then...
spotting raccoons.
I
did take you down the street where I thought there was
a chance. I said, where are we going to park? And you said, just leave that to me. And I said, righto, Navigator Rich, or NR, as you're now known. And you took me to this street, and you said, there it is. I said, there's what? And you said, there it is. And sure enough, not only was it the prime parking spot within a 7-minute walk...
7 minutes into the gate.
But unlimited parking all day.
All day.
And from that point on, it didn't matter what happened.
And we walked down the corner, and a bloke tried to go down a one-way street.
And the heat.
And the fuzz pulled away from the back of the tree. And
he was hiding.
No. He jumped out of the car. The bloke said, hey, back in your car, champ. Just stay there.
Yeah. You don't do that when you get pulled over. You get out, you're no chance of getting off.
Oh, but he went straight to his hip because you don't know.
Yeah. Hey, man, I thought we were going to see something go downtown.
100%.
Yeah. So anyway, we got the parking spot. Beautiful. So in my mind, going to races, tick. I got through getting there driving, tick. There was a few curse words, but generally, I did turn the radio on. Rookie error, people. Apparently when you go to the races, you don't have the radio on. You just sit in silence. Right?
When I drive to the races, I'm either on the phone or I have nothing on. I like to be in punting.
You're dressed, but you have nothing on the radio.
Nothing on the radio. I like to have... I've got punting, horses...
You're getting in the zone, aren't you?
Everything in my zone. If I'm on the phone, which I often am, but if I'm not, I don't have music or radio on at all going to the races.
Yeah. Anyway, the song was...
I sit in silence.
The song was Pink, Who Knew? And that was quite appropriate. Who knew that you wouldn't want to turn on the radio? Another story. So we finally get there, and then we're in. And we go straight into that, what do you call the circle of love? Where the horses...
The theatre.
Theatre of...
The horse.
Theatre of the horse.
And then down to the scales went in the press.
Into there, yeah. So
and I was dirty, but anyway, it's another matter. They gave me a different press pass.
Yeah, well, you gave me this one and just said, "Here, put this on. You'll be able to go wherever you want."
Day, but a couple of senior journalists straight away gave me the proper one.
Yeah. And can I just say, I have never known anyone who knows as many people as you. It's like more hellos than the Queen. Like trying to get from A to B.
It takes a while.
It does take a while, doesn't it?
Particularly on those type of days.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, a lot of the people that were there yesterday, I don't often see at Gosford on a Thursday or Warwick Farm on a Wednesday. And we were there for WINX. And let me tell you, I was there the day, well, I'd seen her in the stables many a times, but I was there the day she debuted at Warwick Farm when Chris Lees's horse, owned by Gerard Harvey, You might know Gerard Harvey. There's a few stores called Harvey Norman. And his horse Felines kicked away. Can you name quickly? Can you name the jockeys who have been part of the winning sequence?
No, I'm not good.
Or name all the jockeys that are ridden WINX in races?
I think did Tommy ride once?
Yeah, Tommy won a race at what did he win on it? The Theo Marks was James Mack.
Right.
Larry Cassidy on the Sunshine Coast.
So and then Tommy, and then Huey.
Yeah,
is that
and
four?
Joe Moreira got beat on him.
Yeah.
Got beat on her.
Really?
Jason Collett rode her originally.
Jeez, is that many? That's actually a very good trivia question moving forward. So how many are there? 6 or 7?
Yeah, well, Jason Collett.
Yeah.
Joe Moreira got beat on her.
So there's 2.
Larry Cassidy. Tommy Berry. James McDonald. Hubert Bowman.
So 6 jockeys.
I didn't even leave it on out, did I?
You're asking the wrong person.
I don't think so.
That's good. Anyway, so yeah, you take it up from there because obviously you've got a long-term relationship with Chris as a good mate, and you help him and work for him and all that type of stuff. How was he yesterday?
I spoke to him 3 times before the races, and then before he arrived, because he wasn't until race 5. He wasn't in races 1, 2, 3, 4. So he had a bit of time up his sleeve. No, he was. I think he was just more waiting for the relief that it was going to be over, that he could return to some normality.
Yep.
As I said on the Macquarie Radio the other day, is that he could have gone from the hero of the nation to the arsehole of the nation by, if you go one run too long and she gets beat, but if she happens to get hurt, then you're pronounced as greedy.
Yeah, and they've always been aware of that, haven't
mindful
they?
of that. I think the most thing about it is my old man, having been going the race a long time, Kenny, said, and I saw it in Phil Rothfield's column in the Telegraph in Sydney, he doesn't think Bart Cummings or Tommy Smith or any of those trainers could have done, because I think they would have got greedy, whether she would have run in the Melbourne Cup, which I think she would have won easy. She could have won a couple of those, but her career would have been stunted, would have been shorter. Yeah. And they would have got greedy with more runs. But not saying they would have, but I think they would have. And she wouldn't have been on the racetrack for as long as she's been.
So the partnership that Waller and WINX and the connections formed was just as important as her ability, because that took them to where they needed to go.
Oh, no doubt about that. And Huey, Ben Cadden, the track rider, and Umat and all the team. But where Chris watches the races at Ramwick, it's in a little room on the left. Used to be where a lot of the staff went. And then, because Chris, on race day, Chris takes a lot of his staff to the races. And Mel was there yesterday. Karen, Sophie's there at every races. Even Kerry, who's off on maternity leave, she was there.
We saw her on the way out.
You got all the boys there, and Liam and Charlie. And we always watching this little room. We all watched it in there. Yeah. And then Chris got up, and there was cuddles, and then he walks out the front.
Yeah. It's because it's funny, isn't it, with most sport, the coaches, obviously you all have coaches, but the trainer to the horse is more important than any other, like, for an example, state of origin coach.
You don't want to talk down the significance of the owners. They've done a marvellous job. But, and whether you own a horse, whether me, whether it's Billy, the owners are great, but I'm saying they have no bearing on the horse's ability. Like, they've got no,
other than making sure they pay their bill.
Exactly right. That's and enjoy the theatre of being the owner of WINX. But it lies 100% with Chris. There's no doubt about that. And look,
where do you put him, mate? In the history,
in my time, I'm biased though.
Okay. Well,
I think he's the
analytically, where do you put him? Like, you say you're biased, just disconnect yourself for a minute.
You can't believe it's only been 11 years since he trained his first Group 1.
Yeah. And what about that too yesterday? So not only did she win, but it was 100th Group 1 at the same time.
And she made 25 of them. Yeah. But now he's 101 because he won the following Sydney Cup with Shiraz. So he's won 3 in a row, very elegant. She was,
So if you just look at results driven, take away that friendship.
And what you remember is when he arrived, he arrived with nothing, and Steph was doing a little bit of modelling. Yeah. And she was still there. Like when my wife and I and our two daughters, we lived with Chris and Steph in a unit at North Parramatta. They didn't have kids at this stage.
So it was a dozen years ago, is it, mate?
12 years ago. Yeah. We lived with them for about 7.5 months in their unit with them. Yeah. And their 2 cats, which I hate cats.
You shouldn't, because, I like cats. But
I don't know how many times we threw it off the balcony and they kept landing on their feet.
They've got 7 lives,
But, and the only thing that's changed from Chris over the time is that he's busier.
Yeah.
That's
I love the raw. I just love, as a reasonably emotional type of bloke, I love that emotion that he has. There's no bullshit about it. It's not contrived.
I can't tell you what year it was, but his first good horse was a horse called All Black Gold.
Mm.
I think it had won the Gloaming. I remember laying in bed, and it would have been 5:30
PM or AM?
AM,
Mm.
and the phone rang, and he said, "Can you come down?" He said, I'm shattered. All Black Gold had broke its leg going over one of the crossings at the 600 or 700 at Rosehill in the morning track work. I got down there, and I thought he was going to give away training.
Yeah, right.
His first good horse, and he was,
Right, so none of it's contrived. What you see is it's all 100% real.
Sat there, used to have coffee and tea. I used to pay for coffee, couldn't afford it then. Now the wheels turned. Steph doesn't have to model anymore.
Nor do you.
So he's still the same person now that he was.
Yeah.
Back then, the simple fact is that he's busier.
Yeah.
And I was only talking today to Zelko Kalats, the former goalkeeper, Spider.
Oh, Spider, yeah.
And a mate called Marinko Village. They were mates, and John Shell, who works at Sky, that we're all mates when Chris had no horses back then, and we're all still great mates.
Yeah.
And I probably get to see Chris more than anything because of the association with the horses and going to the races and that. But
yeah.
And Chris gets down in his mind sometimes. He half feels guilty that he doesn't get to spend as much time with them because but they understand.
Yeah, yeah.
But we text, they all text, and when time allows, and I'm sure now Chris is going to, and this is only coming from I think Chris will spend a lot more time in the next 6-12 months trying to catch up with a lot of people that he thinks that he didn't have time to catch up with. Always spoke, but just never had the time over that period. And that's what happens when everyone wants a piece of you.
Yeah.
And every media organisation, the work that his staff and him have done with the media that's required has been incredible. And I think I spoke to Peter Volandis, the boss of Racing New South Wales, and Russell Boarding, the chairman, yesterday in our function, which had the best buffet I've ever seen anywhere.
I didn't notice it, to be honest. I was just too excited.
I've already got an invoice for you. They both were all in unison. We're all just saying that racing owes Chris a debt of gratitude.
And what about his staff? Must be pretty damn good as well.
Chris pays his staff well, looks after his staff well, and that's why he's got loyal staff.
Well, that's key to any successful business.
100%.
Yeah, yeah.
And I want to say yesterday, as much as I thought Chris was great and everything, I didn't see this until I got home and watched it on actually social media, or I might have watched it on too. The interview with Huey Bowman with Lizzie Gills after the race. Geez, I had a tear in my eye.
Did you? Yeah.
He just made it so really. He talked about she's just a horse, and that's what we've got to get. She's just a horse. It's just a horse race, and there's so much more to life. Paddy Smullen, a good mate of them from Ireland. He's got pancreatic cancer. He's struggling. People die a lot. Yeah. Death sentence. Christine, who used to work alongside me at TVN, his wife, Christine Walsh, it used to be. Her brother took his own life 12 months ago. And it was so raw emotion from Huey yesterday. I even texted him and I just thought it was outstanding.
And the flip side of that is that when those horrible things are going on in private lives...
We've had our awful,
of course,
awful bloody battles.
And then there's something like that, and that's what makes sport... Because Well, you remember when she won her third Cox Plate WINX in 2017?
Yeah. My family all watched it at the bedside of my brother Matthew, who sadly lost his battle the day after. But we thought it was right there and then, but it was on the Sunday. So,
and that's what sport does, eh?
And you remember Chris was more emotional that day, and it was only a couple of journos picked up on it, and he was in the euphoria of WINX winning a third Cox Plate. Mind you, who Hugh Bowman gave me the saddle for, and I auctioned.
That's right. At the race day.
$50 for brain cancer.
That's right.
I reckon to go for more now.
Yeah. I'd have to.
He's going to do his fourth saddle.
Yeah.
He's got the one that he wore yesterday was the same one he had in the fourth Cox Plate.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that's the case. He'll auction that for some charity or something. He's a good person, Hugh. His parents, Jimmy and Mandy, are lovely people. They just...
What do you call them? Country, soul of the earth type folks, aren't they?
Look, I do laugh when they used to say, "Oh, Huey's a battler from Dunedoo."
Right.
when your old man owns Dunedin, I don't know if that's
He's the done, is he? Indeed. Good on him.
Yeah, good people. Just Mandy, we sit with the apron on out the window, baking pie.
But I mean, do you reckon they'll ever do the film?
The film?
Yeah. Is there enough sort of, well, I don't know.
I reckon they'll be guided
drama
by
to do the film.
The film coming out shortly.
Yeah.
Ride Like a Girl, Michelle Payne. I spoke about it the other day at the sales.
Yeah.
We live in a little cocoon, a little bubble racing.
Mm.
Too many people think that we're big time out in the real world.
Right.
And racing's not.
Yeah, right.
And WINX has done that more than Prince of Penzance, Michelle Payne.
Yeah, so that's interesting. But I guess with that, like when I go back to the Farlap movie, with everything that happened overseas and all the drama that came with that, and it was obviously
but
set
Farlap got the aura because it was so long ago.
Well, true, but also in a time where in the Depression where people were looking for something.
Yeah, but I'm saying he built up it's from people that didn't see him that we'd heard about him,
which is a bit like.
So
Bradman.
we were going to see it for what we wanted to find out about. What was this aura? What was this thing about?
Yeah.
So we've seen WINX, seen Prince of Penzance. It'll be interesting to see whether the general public embrace it when it's time to go and see it.
I hope if they do, I hope they think really hard about it.
Who will play me in the WINX? Or
who would play you?
Will I not be a character?
No, you'll be in there. If I had to pick someone to play you, I would probably have to go with, it's going to be hard, with Ron Howard when he was Richie Cunningham. Same initials.
You can't go back, idiot.
Yeah, well, they can do anything now. Have you not seen animation? I would go with
that
someone.
Young kid that's in High School Musical?
Zac Efron.
Zac Efron.
I'm not in it, mate. We're talking about who's playing you.
You're playing me.
Yeah. Oh.
Maybe Zac Efron could play Waller.
Yeah.
Because unbeknown to a lot of people, Chris
he could do
Waller.
That. You know who Waller? The Spider-Man guy.
He's a magnificent singer.
Toby Maguire. He could do Waller. Who would play the horse?
I'd get a horse.
You just get one?
Yeah.
Mm.
Horse is very clever.
Are we developing an idea here? I think we might be.
Maybe we are.
Anyway, 5 topics of movies.
Have we found this podcast boring? Or
no. I wanted to say it's just something different because when I spoke to you yesterday on the way home, I said with the pod tomorrow we should just do something about WINX. You're, for the punters.
What was my favourite win of WINX's?
Hey Richie, what was your favourite win of WINX's?
Probably the Theo Marks when James McDonald, because he gave up hope.
Right.
He thought she had no chance. She got knocked over a couple of times. Got knocked over again. Champions find a way. She found a way. She only beat a horse of Jason Addard's, Sons of John. What a win it was.
What was the winning margin that day, mate? Enough?
Head.
Enough, right.
Yeah. Short head or something like that.
So, because that's what you got to judge her on, the tough one. I guess a lot of people will do that.
I just think you look at the Doncaster. You can I declared her unbeatable in the first Cox Plate. They bet 9-2, $5.50. Highland Reel was in the race. Criterion. Yeah. She destroyed them.
Yeah. Anyway, it's been a different 5 topics of life, but I just thought it'd be good for the punters to get an insight from you, someone who's been in the game a long while, someone who's got a close connection with Chris, and we hope you enjoy it. We will talk about some of the other shenanigans that took place on the lighter side. We'll talk about that next week.
Okay.
But I reckon this week, that'll do us, mate. What do you think?
Good as go. I enjoyed it.
I put it down.
I enjoyed the chat.
I did. Yeah, it's like we could actually be normal occasionally. And I personally want to thank you, mate, because it was a top day. And I had more than 10 minutes notice punters out there. It was at least 25. And it was a top day. So anyway, folks, hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you next week.
5 topics of life.